Hello ladies, it's Christine here again, and I'd like to talk today about complexion. So today's video is all about the base, how to achieve a picture perfect, flawless, radiant, natural looking complexion. And I'm going to be using some of the lovely products from Look Fabulous Forever, which is a range of skincare and makeup products that are specifically designed for mature skin. So I've done my morning skincare routine by cleansing and applying my serums and my moisturiser, and I've let my moisturiser sink in, so I can now ready to start applying my base face makeup. So I'm going to start off today with primers, and I'm going to apply an eye primer to begin with. And the eye primer will help my eye makeup stay in place all day and it won't need to be touched up. So I'm going to start off first of all, just get my hair out of the way, and I'm going to just take a dry clean tissue and just blot my eyelids just to start off, just to get rid of any residual oil before I put the primer on. And I'm using the Smooth Out Eye Prime. So this is a peach coloured cream that you apply a thin layer of it onto your eyelids and then let it dry, and then when you apply your eye makeup you'll find that your eye makeup stays in place. So I'm going to apply just a little smidgen of it on my hand here. You only need a tiny bit, and then I'm going to just use a clean ring finger just to apply that onto all over the lid area and just into the brow bone as well, and just smooth that on. Just while that's going on, just talk a bit about self-care for your skin, because if you're doing the right things to keep your skin in good condition, then that's half the battle to getting a flawless complexion. So things like having a good balanced diet, drinking lots of water, exercising and getting out in the fresh air, getting enough sleep, using the right skincare that's suitable for your skin type, and that's half the battle then to getting a flawless complexion. Makeup can enhance what you've got, but if the basics are there in the first place, then that's half the battle. Okay, so I've put my eye prime on, just going to leave that to dry off. And the next thing I'm going to do is to apply my face prime, and I'm using the Smooth Like Silk face prime. So I'm going to apply this all over my face. That will then give me a nice flawless smooth matte base for my foundation to go on top of. I don't have any very uneven patches or discoloration on my face, so I'm not going to use any of the colour neutralisers. But if you do have very dark shadows under your eyes or redness from broken veins, then Look Fabulous Forever do have two colour concealers. There's a peach coloured one and a green coloured one. And the peach one is for toning down blueness, so if you have shadows, or the green tone one is useful for toning down redness, so any broken veins. And you could just apply them on before you apply any primers or foundations, so they sit underneath the primer. So I don't need to use those, so I'm going to go straight with the primer. And what I do is take a blob of that just on the back of my hand again, and it's like a clear translucent gel, and what I'm doing is just going to apply that onto my face just a wee bit at a time. And this is good for blurring any fine lines, enlarged pores, and just blurring those out. So I'm going to then just smooth the primer all over my face. I'm avoiding the eye area because I've already primed that with this eye prime. So just smooth that and just down, just beyond my jawline. Okay, so that's primer, and this is going to help my foundation stay in place all day, won't need to touch it up. Okay, so that's the primer. The next is going to be foundation, and I'm using the Continuous Cover foundation. This is in shade 02. So when you're trying to get a picture perfect, flawless complexion, you need to try and get a foundation that matches your skin tone as closely as possible. If you're not sure what foundation colour you should be using, then Look Fabulous Forever have got a kind of questionnaire on the website that you can fill in and it will suggest colours for you. Or if you'd rather speak to somebody, then the customer service advisors at Look Fabulous Forever can advise you on what sort of shade you might want to try. And if you're still not happy with it when you receive it and you've tried it, then they do have a no quibble returns policy, so you don't need to worry about any of that. So I'm going to take a bit of this again on the back of my hand. I'm just going to use one pump today. That's all I normally would use anyway because it has very good coverage, but it's a light buildable coverage, so you can apply a bit and then if you think you need a bit more, you can apply that later on just to even things out a bit. So I'm going to use a brush to apply it, and I'm just taking a little bit onto the brush and then I'm going to apply it sort of down the middle of my face first of all, and then onto my cheeks. And then really it's just a case then of working the foundation into the skin with the brush and letting the brush do all of the work. So I'm smoothing that out, and you can use kind of stippling motions as well if that helps to work it into your skin and into all the kind of little crevices and the nooks and crannies around your face. It's also worth saying about skincare, once a week I like to exfoliate my face, and Look Fabulous Forever have got a very nice exfoliator, and that just gets rid of any dead skin cells that build up and can cause patchiness and uneven areas on your face. So the exfoliator is very good for getting rid of that and giving you a nice radiant skin. Just going to go underneath the jawline a little bit and just smooth that out as well, just so we've got no lines, no obvious lines. So that's the foundation. The next thing I'm going to do is to use some concealer. So the concealer is in the same shade as my foundation, it's shade 02. And the concealer is very good for if you have any dark shadows or any uneven pigmentation in your skin, then the concealer will erase that. Here it is. So it's a nice creamy formula, and I'm going to use a small flexible tipped brush just to take a bit of the concealer on and then just apply it to the kind of dark shadow areas around in the corners of my eyes. Just got those little shadowy bits there, so I'm just applying it very gently, and then just underneath my eyes as well where I've still got some shadowy areas. And you can apply it with a finger, clean finger of course, if that's easier for you to do, but I like to have a brush to start with and then just pat in any areas thereafter. Okay, so just taking that into the shadowy, and I've got some little bits of pigmentation here, bits of sun damage, which I like to try and blur those out. What I'm going to do now is just going to pat that in gently, and the warmth of my fingers will just soften that and let that blend in nicely. So that's the foundation on, and then the concealer. I'm going to set the makeup with some translucent powder, and I like to use the Look Fabulous Forever translucent powder. It's a fine colourless powder that isn't cakey or drying. It just gives you a nice radiant finish to your foundation and helps the makeup to set as well. So that's again going to help it stay in place. I'm just taking a big fat blusher brush here, just dusting it over the top of the powder compact, and then I'll just lightly sweep that over my face. Just takes away any residual shine and gives you a nice set finish. I've got my base in place. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of depth and dimension and a bit of warmth to my complexion, and by using the bronzer and a bit of blusher. So I've just recently started using the bronzer just to try it out. I'm obviously quite cool toned in my skin, but I like to just add a little bit of warmth now that the spring's coming and summer's just around the corner, or hopefully not too far away. So I'm going to apply a bit of bronzer. So this is the Enduring Summer Bronze. It does look quite dark in the compact, but it's again a very fine powder, a bit the same sort of texture as the translucent powder, so it goes on very lightly. The trick with bronzer is again to apply it with a light touch and just build it up if you think you need a bit more. So start off with a little bit and then build it up if you need it. And what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use a different brush. This is a big fat fluffy brush. Because I've put the translucent powder on before applying the bronzer, then the bronzer won't sort of catch on my face on the foundation. So the trick with the bronzer is you would apply it where you would normally catch the sun on your face. So again, kind of the top of your forehead, along the top of your cheekbones, and then along your jawbone. So that's where I'm going to go with the fat brush with a sweep of bronzer. And if you think about those areas, if you would join them up, then it kind of makes a number 3 shape. So if you think about when you're applying it, you're going to go in a kind of number 3 shape around your face. So I'm going to take a little bit onto the brush, and then I'm just going to go along the forehead, along the top of my cheekbones, and then down the jaw. And the same on the other side. So across the top of the forehead, near the hairline, not into the hairline, across my top of my cheekbone, and then onto the jaw. And then I'm just going to do it again, just one more time. And that's going to just apply a little bit of warmth. And I've done it very gently in that number 3 shape. So I've not gone too daft with it. The objective is not to look tanned or orange, it's just to add a little bit of warmth and a bit of depth to my base. So that's the bronzer. And then I'm going to apply my blusher, and I'm going to use my favourite, which is the Rosy Glow blusher. Nice natural looking blush. This is a cream to powder formulation, so it goes on like a cream and then it brushes out to a powder. And you normally apply your blusher on the apples of your cheeks. So if you're not sure where the apples of your cheeks are, if you smile, then the kind of plump bits here are the apples of your cheeks. So the objective would be to put the blusher there and just dot it on, and I normally try and do it in a sort of teardrop shape. So I'm going to take, again, a clean finger. I'm going to apply a bit on my middle finger, and then I'm just going to pat it onto the apple of my cheek and just up into a kind of teardrop shape over my cheek. This is just a nice natural neutral colour, so it's going to give me a nice bit of warmth and depth again, but not too obvious. What I'm looking for is a nice natural, picture perfect, glowy complexion. So just patting it on the finger, and then what I'll do is I take a blusher brush, again another fat brush, not as big as the other one I used obviously, and I'm going to hold it, I'm going to kind of grip it so that I'm kind of gripping the top edges of the brush, so I feel like I've got control of the brush, and then I'm just going to sweep that up and out the way, and that just then blends into a really nice soft powder. And because I use the translucent powder, that's then going to help that blend in beautifully. So that's it, that's the blusher and the bronzer. That's just giving me a little bit of warmth to my complexion. So that's my base makeup done. What I'll do now is then I would do my eyebrows and my eyeshadow, my eye makeup, and then finish off with some lipstick. But I've got my face base in place, and hopefully it's looking nice and natural and kind of radiant. So that's me for today. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to ask any questions about any of the products I've used, then feel free to pop them down below and we'll reply back to you, because we do like to hear from you. Also on our YouTube channel, if you've not had a look, pop over and have a look at that, because we've got lots of other videos and ideas and inspiration for you to try, so it's always worth a watch. But meantime, thanks for watching once again. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.